Hello, David Bradley from the Pet Room here. Today I'm going to talk further about thrifting. As I've said, I really haven't been in many thrift shops for quite some time. There was COVID and other things, but I've been staying clear. But when I have a specific need, I will go. And lately, of course, my specific need has been power bars and power strips and other things of an electrical nature that might be handy. I found another thing today, and what it is a timer, an outdoor or indoor electrical timer. It is not one that you can say, okay, I want something to happen 3 times a day at this time for 5 minutes or whatever. It's very basic, but it does work. So just a moment, let me refer to the back of it. Ugh. Basically, there are 3 things. There's C, which is clock set, P, which is program start time, E, program end time. So, what do? I plug it in, and it comes up with a flashing C. So, as it is now approximately 5 in the morning, I push the top button to 5. Behold the magic, 5. And then I push the bottom button, and I say program. Or it says program, and I push the top button, and you know what? I'll say 5, because I want this to happen right now. And the end time, I will put at 6. And now it is happening. So, oh, look. Here's something that I recently got at the thrift store. This funky dude light here. So maybe I should have done this when it was plugged in. Anyway, if I plug this in now, it will come on. Now, from what I know of this, to reset it, kind of like an iPhone, push both buttons and hold them. Well, it's kind of, okay. For a while, a number of seconds. And then it should turn off, and then it'll come back up and say, C for clock. So I will push, I will once again go to 5. I will push the bottom button. Up comes P. I will go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll push the bottom button, and the end time would be 6. And I will push the bottom button. Ah, and it comes on. And it should now, if I were to leave it here, stay on for the next hour. I have tested this. I tested it with a fan. It did seem to be fine. This, at the thrift store, cost me $2.99. I suspect at the larger retailers, and with brand new things and in all wrapped up in plasticky packaging and everything else, they would be much more. And actually, these 2 things may end up going together when I run this around outside. Ooh, looky. It's funky lighting. Woo! Anyway, when I run this around outside, I may actually control it with a timer, such as this. If there is a time that I want it to come on and go off, and come on and go off, there might be. So, the other thing I may be doing with something like this is there are raccoons in my area, and they don't like light. So it may end up that I start doing something to help them to understand that they should go away. But I don't want to leave a light on like 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and da-da-da-da. So I can pick my time strategically. I can Anyway, so right now, if I wanted to reset this, mind you, one way to reset it is to turn off this power strip here. That will reset it. But if I don't want to do that, I hold down the button and it will then, it shows me, I think it's showing 18. I keep holding, both buttons. And when I let go, it goes off and it comes up, and once again, it's flashing C. And then I go, wait for it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I push the bottom button. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I push the bottom button. I push the top button. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I push the bottom button. Oh, let there be light. And it was good. And it is good. So yes, you can go and buy stuff brand new. I would suggest, though, if you are in a thrift store and it's something electrical, do plug it in, get an idea of what's what, look at the cord, make sure there's no, animals have been chewing on it, or if, make sure the plug isn't falling apart, and other, shake the thing, make sure there's no loose connections or wiring, or shake it just to listen if you hear anything inside, because you never know. So, because, they check things over, but there's no guarantees at the thrift store. But still, especially if you find something brand new in the packaging that somebody got with some grand ideas of doing something magical, at which point their partner probably said, "You're not doing that." And then years later, they find the thing sitting around and they send it off to the thrift store. Anyway, buyer beware. And if you're not sure, then walk away. I've looked at many a thing in there and said, no. Like the other thing I found in there was, ta-da, this. But I found one of those timers that are 24-hour timers that you can pop things up and have things go on at specific times. So I thought, hey, this is pretty cool. And I did ponder it. I did. But I really couldn't properly test it. And I have around here other things that I could do such things with. And I'm sure I have things like that around that I'm not sure where they are that I could do such things with. And of course, now I have this that I can do such things with. And also, I have X10 modules. That's how I turn lights on and off in this room, because I can't get to the lights because, well, there's a few pets in the way here. A few. Well, not in the way. They're supposed to be here. For now. Anyway, so, thrifting. You could pay more, but why? If you go in somewhere and you absolutely need something now, like for example, I realized that one of my downspout things was in peril and in distress, and I really wanted to do something better. And a big rainstorm was coming, big rainstorm. So I did go to one of the large retailers, in this case Home Depot, and I did find what I wanted, which was actually a plastic 4-inch pipe thing that was, when stretched out, it could be 52 feet long. And I thought, yeah, that will be fine. I could, if I felt like it, cut that and use it in a number of places. But for this application, it's dandy being long to get the water way away. And it isn't necessarily going to be stretched out to 52 feet. But in that case, because big rainstorm coming, realize there is trouble, not a bad thing to just go and say, I need this now, go. But with other things, such as power bars, it's not a terrible thing to just keep your eye open. Because it wasn't like, oh, I've got to have them today, that's all, I must. It was like, oh, yeah, I'll keep my eye open, I'll see what. And this, was I really looking for this? No. And how did I find it? It was a miracle. Because it wasn't, there's one kind of area where there are electrical things in this thrift store. Was it there? No, it was on some other thing that I usually I don't go down that aisle, I don't even look. But there I was, and I just said, ooh. And so I got it. So, thrifting. You could spend more, but why bother? Thanks so much for being here. Bye for now.